Hey everybody, welcome back. Episode 20, Jiu Jitsu Dummies podcast, sponsored by Fightback CBD. Get 15% off your CBD order at fightbackcbd.com. Use code JJD at checkout. It's episode 20, quarantine episode number 5. Boo, boo quarantine. Big shout out to the We Defy Foundation. They provide therapeutic relief to disabled combat veterans through jiu-jitsu. Check them out at We Defy Foundation on Instagram, and you can donate now or anytime at wedefyfoundation.org. Now, this is a big one for us. Again, it's our big 2-0, a little bit different. We've been around for a year. May 13th was our first Instagram video. So, woohoo! Thank you to Bo behind the camera. So we're going to do a little something special here. You're going to stay tuned to the end of the episode, and I'm going to tell you about the $500 in gift cards we're going to be giving away to our podcast store in celebration of episode 20, our 10,000 followers on Facebook, and 3,000 plus followers on Instagram. So thank you all, and again, stay tuned to the end of the episode. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a purple belt at Fight Sports Coral Springs down here in South Florida. Still missing my co-host. Normally, if you're just tuning in for the first time, I usually have 3 or 4 nutsacks hanging out with me, talking about jiu-jitsu. But because of the quarantine, and we'll probably go another couple of episodes before we bring them back in. But I can't wait to get everybody together. We'll probably do an originals episode pretty soon. All right, guys, that's it. So let's dive in with today's guest. They're waiting patiently on the screen here. Enrique, you got to get your head into the screen there a little bit. You're like off to the side. We're just going to get half of Enrique's opinion today. So we have Enrique from left to right, Enrique, Pat, and Eduardo, or Eddie from JitzKing Promotions. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here.
What's up?
Thank you for having us.
Hey, guys. Good to see you again. I haven't seen you guys, I think, since probably the Substars event, right? We had a couple of beers. Yeah. We hung out with Jacob the Bull Brown. I almost always call him Jacob the Brown Bull, but he's going to kill me for that. So let's go from left to right. We'll start with Enrique. Let's have you guys introduce yourselves. Let's do full name, your position in the company, and then your belt rank and where you train if you like.
My name is Enrique Marroquin. I'm the president of the company. I'm a purple belt under Fabio Novaes, and I've been training for about 11 years now.
Awesome. Pat?
My name is Patrick Hamilton. I'm a black belt under Fabio Novaes, and I am the VP of Talent Acquisition with JitzKing Promotions.
Okay.
My name is Eduardo Colon, and I'm a purple belt, and I'm also an IBJJF undefeated champion.
undefeated.
I'm a purple belt under Fabio Novaes, and I'm also the president of the company.
Okay. So come on. You can't just throw that out. And how many matches did you have that you're undefeated?
No comment.
All right, guys. Again, thank you for joining me today. So I don't know, what the hell do we have to talk about? What's new? What's going on? Nothing much, right? Nothing much in the world.
Literally nothing much. Just getting back to reality, right? Fight to Win was the first thing that happened in a long time last night. Was Fight to Win the first action promotion to run an event in a very long time? It happened last night.
I think so. Yeah. I saw my master Cyborg. He won his match. I didn't get to watch the entire event. I've only just kind of seen the postings on social media, so I'm trying to catch up. But did you guys watch the entire event?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Any standout matches?
I just never want Cyborg on top of me. I can tell you that.
Yeah, right.
At any point in time, I would never want that guy on top of me trying to pass my guard. And there's nothing that seems fun about that.
There is nothing fun about it. I have not had the pleasure, but my co-host, Junior, who again is not here, Cyborg came up to do a seminar. Obviously, we're a part of the Fight Sports family, so up here in Coral Springs. So Junior was his grappling dummy when he did a seminar. So you could, the top pressure is incredible. So let's start with talking about the promotion. Let's talk about JitzKings. Who you guys are, how you got started, and what makes you guys different.
To start from the beginning, I think what makes us more different than anybody else. I think we came out and we started with the 16-man invitational, and I think that's been our standout as far as putting promotions out there. I think a few other people are emulating kind of a similar style right now, but before that, there was no one bringing together 16 high-level guys for such a large cash prize, or at least it hadn't been done in a while. And that was just the one thing we wanted to do different. Also, we had points when a lot of guys were doing sub-only and EBI overtime, you know? For me, I'm an active competitor. I compete pretty regularly. I won Master Worlds last year at brown belt featherweight. So points to me were very important. You know, like I think points push the action, and we're always going to stick by that. You know, I think we came out with the points kind of system with our tournament just as everyone was still really into EBI overtimes and sub only. You know, and for me, that kind of leaves like who really won it. You know, so it was very important for us to get a clear winner. And up until leading to JitzKing, man, I was watching. I think ADCC 2019 was on the way, so I was watching these trials, East Coast and West Coast trials, man. And every single match was so exciting. The 3 minutes, no points, 3 minutes of points. It was just like match back to back points, and it was just action packed. And I was like, let's get some points and no points going, dude. That way, if we get someone like an IBJJF competitor, and then we also have a sub only guy, well then it's the best of both worlds. You both have your game, your chance to play. You both have 3 minutes to do your thing. You know, and it seems like if you watch the last event, those dudes were going after it the whole time. Like no one was especially Ethan, man. Like guys like Ethan and Jose, like they don't accept points. Like Ethan's like half worm, it seems like.
You had for those people that don't know, that last event in Miami, you basically had the leg lock crew from New York, right? You had the entire Gordon Ryan crew up there, right?
Yeah, Gordon Ryan had the shortest shorts I've ever seen on a man before.
With the tucked in shirt. Shout out to Gordon.
and the fanny pack, bro. Like,
he rocked it.
That's confidence. Don't mess with that guy. You know, it even inspired me. I now own a fanny pack after watching that competition. I had to get one.
Did he have the Gucci leather fanny pack? Is that the one he had?
It's not Gucci. It's not Gucci. I'm not that balling, but I tried. You know?
So
I went with Jan.
What is it about? Let's go back to the points. Why did people? I mean, obviously you're not in the room at these other tournaments when they're talking about it. But why the overtimes and why the sub onlys? You know, what made them kind of go to that? I mean, you know, it's IBJJF kind of came first, and then these tournament systems came out. Why did they go that way?
I think because you would watch so many IBJJF matches, especially black belts, and you have these 10-minute matches. Let's be real. The first 6 minutes, no one's doing anything. It's a 10-minute match. So, and everybody knows in a fight, you can't sprint for 10 minutes, you know? So, like, at the time when, like, these sub-only competitions were coming out and these EBI especially, there was only IBJJF. I mean, Metamoris came out, but, like, they butchered that. 20-minute matches. It was just too long, and it wasn't around long enough. So the first things that come out, it was kind of like, you know, they went the complete opposite of what the only thing we had was IBJJF and a point scoring system. And it seemed like guys were like, well, that's boring. We're going to go sub only because it's going to push the action. But if you've kind of noticed, it doesn't. Because, I mean, not to say that there aren't exciting sub only matches, but if there's no points, guys can kind of chill and play the leg lock game and just play leg entanglements. But when you know there's $5,000 on the line and there's 30 seconds left and the first person to score is going to get that $5,000, you know, for me, I just like to have a clear winner. If you look at our rule set, we have the 3 no points, then 3 points, then 2 sudden scoring golden score rounds, and then a ref decision. So we give these guys plenty of time to leave everything out there and go after it. Like if you can't submit, you can score. Any of these guys can score, you know? So I think that really just pushes the action, you know. I really like that. And we have strong refs. My coach, Fabio Novaes, one of the highest ranked IBJJF referees, you know. We got Ronaldo Santos out of Carlson Gracie and Winter Garden and May down from South Florida. So those guys understood the rules, and it just seems like it pushes the action, you know, a lot. When you hear that and it says points, that means like it's on. Like when I was commentating and I'd hear that, I'd be like, like something like it just pushes the action right there, man. You know. So like I'm saying, I watch excessive amounts of jiu-jitsu. I can watch Worlds Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and I'll just sit there and watch it for 12 hours. I'm that big of a nerd. But at the same time, when I watch those East Coast trials, I was like, West Coast trials too. I was like, this is the format that you want to watch because that was captivating, you know. So
let's talk about. Love that shirt. I have that shirt as well. That's
RIP Nuwaza, right?
Yeah, right. What is it? I think the BJJ box bought them, but
Yeah, they stopped making cool stuff though. It's like generic. It's not like, well, Travis isn't there anymore. I think he was a big inspiration behind a lot of the art.
I got a little bit of the background from Sean at Flow and Roll.
Yeah.
And I still have my Nuaza shirts from a few years ago. You can wash those things like 20 times and they're all like dark black still. They lasted forever. So I do notice that they're using kind of like the Next Level and like Gildan type shirts now. They're not using the same shirts, but I'm a subscriber to the BJJ box, so I do get, I guess, you get Nuaza gear. I had the little mask that they made that said, Jiu-Jitsu, Jiu-Jitsu we trust. So I love them, but I guess it's a different company now.
Did you hear the crazy story? I mean, I don't know how much of that is legitimate. Did you hear what happened with that?
No, I do not. I did not.
Oh my God. It's crazy, man. Travis posted this huge post a long time ago. Apparently, this is what happened. Okay. I heard that, and I don't want to talk much crap. I heard
Talk crap.
Okay. From, I guess, had offered him a job and said that you're going to make this much money per month, but the only way that you're going to be able to do this is if you sell your company. So he sold his company, and they were supposed to work for. And then some weird thing happened where he didn't pan out. And then Travis is left without his company anymore. And he wasn't making money for. And he started making these posts that saying was trying to like sleep with him. And he turned him down. And that's why he didn't get the job anymore. He made this huge post and he called out Eddie Bravo and was like, Eddie Bravo said he was going to put me in EBI. And Eddie Bravo was like, dude, I said you could be an alternate. I never said you were going to be in EBI. It was this big, dude. It was like a huge, it was like 1,000 words, 2,000 words. It was, and then Travis disappeared. So I don't really know what happened there, but man, it was a bummer to hear that. But he sold his company because he was supposed to work for, from my understanding, and then it just fell through. I think Zapata told me about that too, and he was doing a couple seminars, and I don't know, man. Now he's off social media, so it bummed because that was a great company, man. They made some really good stuff. Unique stuff.
I made T-shirts. I still make T-shirts, and I buy their shirts. I bought. I guess the last group I got were they were in their like clearance section. So those were still the old shirts. So if and I don't know if they still have inventory, but I went and got my last group of shirts. That was just a couple of months ago. So I was actually surprised to hear that they sold the company. But then when I got the BJJ box, I got the new T-shirts, and you could just tell it's not the same shirt. But I mean, those fucking shirts lasted forever. I still wear them to this day. That's one of my favorite. My girl got me that when they started coming out with the Star Wars movies. We all went with to an IMAX theater, and we all had shirts on. So.
It's a good one, man. I mean, like that was my Black Friday shopping. I'd save up and then I'd go on Nuaza and I just buy everything, man.
I just bought I bought shorts. I bought shirts. The only thing I didn't get was a rash guard. But yeah, I mean, I love the brand. I got them on the backdrop here. I got their stickers on the backdrop too. So big fan. I didn't know all that shit happened behind the scenes. Holy crap!
Great company, man. It's pretty crazy.
Wow. So what are you guys going to be doing about the kids event that was in Miami? Is that going to come back around? I know things are so crazy. We'll get into the quarantine side of things in a second, but you guys were scheduled to do a kids only event in Miami, right? You did. I love your social media, by the way. You guys do an incredible fucking job. I love the kids signing their contracts just like the adults. I mean, you guys are on point, man. You guys do a good job. But what's the story with that? Is it going to be coming back?
So we are waiting to find a venue. And honestly, for Broward and Dade counties to open up, we're kind of hanging right now, and we can't really, with kids, we don't really want to risk it to a point where it's unsafe. So we're trying to find a venue that will allow an audience safely that can come out and watch the kids show.
Okay.
It's unfortunate if we can't find something here soon. What we're going to do is we're going to start weaving in, those kid matches into our traditional shows, and we're going to honor all the matches. But in my opinion, it would be great to give these kids a show, and to have them perform and have their own platform to perform and to shine under.
So let's talk about the audience side of this. So we've got this event coming on June 13th.
Yes.
Undisclosed
correct.
Location. Is this going to be on Fight Island? Did you get permission from Dana?
No, it's not. It's going to be on Jits Island.
So let's talk about the June 13th event. Let's talk about audience. So and we'll get into the card in a second, the actual rundown, but what's going to be different about this event under these, this new normal that we're living under?
So, the one thing we want all our fans and our competitors to know is that their safety is number one.
Okay.
So the first thing is we won't have an audience for this show.
Okay.
It's going to be close to an audience. Competitors are only going to be allowed to have one coach.
Okay.
Everybody will be having a mask. Everybody will be checked by a doctor, including people working the event.
Okay.
So if you have if there's one symptom whatsoever, competitors will not be allowed in the building.
Okay.
The same with the staff, and so we're going to be very careful about how we run things. And unfortunately, this is not going to have an audience. It's going to be streamed only through Flograppling.
Okay. I guess you guys have forced me into finally getting my annual Flograppling membership updated. Oh.
Apparently,
we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Flograppling is the best. We love Flograppling.
I think we really might have to cut that out.
It should be $1,000.
It should be $1,000 a month.
It is. It should be $1,000.
Eduardo, Eddie, when you speak, you got to speak into the mic more. We can't hear you.
I said you're getting a steal with Flograppling.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, no, June 13th is the event. No audience. Are we able to disclose the location yet, or you are keeping that secret?
I can let you know that it will be in Central Florida.
Okay.
And we'll leave it at that. We don't want. We want to leave it at that for now.
Are you going to allow any press besides Flograppling?
If we do, they'll be screened and they'll have to go through the, through the medical process as well.
Okay. Okay. So, Flograppling, no audience. Now, okay, so let's jump into the rundown of the card. What we don't have to necessarily go over every single competitor, but what are the standout matches in your mind? Who are you guys excited to see, besides all of them? Oh, we lost connection. Oh, we lost you. There you go. Okay. Somebody pulled out the plug.
I don't know. I don't know what you guys have in South Florida, but we have Spectrum here, and it's absolute shit as far as internet goes. Terrible.
You came back. You did come back a little fuzzy, but it'll clear up. So yeah, I was asking. Let's talk about the matches. What matches are you guys excited to see yourself?
How about just the whole 16-man? I mean, I think this might be the most stacked 16-man we've done yet. And of course, that'll come with time. Like the more events you put out, the more people see like, okay, these guys are a serious event. They offer serious money and stuff like that. You're going to get some better competitors, So I have to say the first event, we didn't have great competitors. I think a lot of guys that were kind of unknowns or up and coming made their name in that first event. And then the second event, even more so. But I think this one's the most stacked yet. And I think it's because, jiu-jitsu is kind of like, I feel like MMA, we as fans, we can watch any event, right? We can watch, if we're watching a fight, I'll watch 125ers, I'll watch 135ers, I'll watch 145ers. But the general audience, they like bigger guys because there seems to be more action, And this is the biggest event we've done yet with 185ers. And I mean, there's just so much talent at 185 and guys that will probably lose a little bit of weight and fight 185. There's so many good guys. I mean, thinking about this talent, looking at the first two names, like Miguel Galon and William Tackett. That's the first two names in the 60-man we're looking at right now. That's fun. We got Roberto Jimenez, and some other people we're working on as well. A hometown hero, AJ Souza, who, I mean, as a younger belt man coming up, watching that guy go through people was I didn't even know that level existed. I would be like, okay, jiu-jitsu is pretty cool. And I would see AJ, I'd be like, you can be that good at jiu-jitsu, So for him to apply and want to be in our event, I was so stoked. I was like, what, AJ Souza in this thing?
You got to let him know we'd love to have him on, and we've actually had two of his students on. We had Drew when the Substars, that last Substars event happened. We've had Drew on a couple of times, who worked there at the event, and then we also had Diane Portwood, who's this incredible artist. I don't know if you guys know who she is. She's just incredible, and we had her on as well. So we were hoping to have AJ on, and then I saw him on the card there. So let him know we'd love to have him on before the event. He can come on and do a little promo, talk about the event, and and again, this whole new normal is just kind of winds up being the overarching subject matter of these podcasts lately. But what else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we're bringing John Combs back in, which I'm super excited about. He's just been on this tear lately. It's like I like seeing John from like the first event we had him in, the first JitzKing. Like I've seen him grow and get better as a competitor. It's like almost like he's found himself over the past 2 years. So I'm really excited to see him go in here and do his thing. Adrian Marino coming all the way from Texas. This dude rips people's heads off with guillotines. It's violent, man. Like it's like some people's body types were built for certain submissions. I think his is just to rip people's heads off. That's his main thing. We got Oliver Taza coming in from the DDS squad. We know we get someone to represent them.
He's from Canada, right?
Canada. He trains at TriStar and he trains in the Blue Basement with DDS. So he's getting the best of both worlds right now, man. So super excited to have him. And he's been in Florida competing a lot for a long time, like the old Sapaterio competitions way back in the day that Ludek would put on, So it's just a lot of really high level guys coming in, man. And also I think some of these guys right now, if you look, like there's no other events going on and these guys are competing every weekend up until the point of our event, which I love because as a competitor, I saw this from Meow Brothers, the more you do it, the more comfortable you are out there. And the more comfortable you are, the better you perform. And that makes a better show. Yeah. So the more these guys compete, the better it is for everybody. They're only getting better and better at everything.
So let me throw a question at you guys as it relates to somebody show symptoms the day of. Are you going to have alternates? Are you ready with backups? I mean, I know that's hard for when guys have to travel to come and not compete, but how are you going to handle that? Do they drop out of the bracket? What's the plan there?
I think that's the safest thing. If someone's showing symptoms, not going to be able to compete. We're no strangers to having to have alternates. I mean, having a 16-man competition, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you might make it 2 months out, but getting closer to the competition, you're going to lose some guys for whatever reason. So over the past 2 events, we've gotten really good at having people on standby and just knowing a lot of talent. And we'll have some local guys, maybe some other guys from out of town too, just on standby, ready to jump in case something happens. I mean, I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope everyone's healthy and strong and training and taking care of themselves, and it doesn't happen, because when this 16-man comes together, it's gonna put the grappling world on its head, man. These 16 guys that have never fought each other before, no gi for this kind of prize money. It's gonna be super interesting. I'm really excited to see who's gonna take it. I couldn't even tell you. Yeah. I honestly couldn't even tell you who's going to win this one, because everyone's got their own kind of style and their own game, and whoever shows up that day is going to get paid, so it'll be nice.
What is it? It's $5,000, right? Grand prize?
Yeah, sir. $5,000 with a nice JitzKing check on there and a nice crown. We like to give you guys a crown. So.
I've seen him. Do you guys if a guy loses or first, second, third place, who's getting paid? First, second, and third?
Usually just first place. Just first? I mean, and the way I see it too is everyone that's at this event is getting paid, because you're live streamed on Flow, and like it's going to be focused on you. The commentators are going to be talking about you. You're going to have pictures and videos to take back to your family, to use to promote yourself. I mean, I love IBJJF competitions, but let's be real, man. Once you go in there, you're one of 1,000. It's not like you're not getting that shine. You're not getting your name out there. If you come fight for us, we're going to blow you up. Flow's going to blow you up. It's a chance for you. Like, look at Tackett. Like, Tackett was on the up and up, don't get me wrong, but when he won that first event, like after that, man, he's been on this crazy wild ride of just living this jiu-jitsu lifestyle. And before that, he was still a name, but he wasn't where he is now. Now he's like Tackett, So, and you see a little Andrew Tackett. I mean, before that, he was even big, but now he's got even a bigger name because he comes into our event at his age and beats older black belts, seasoned black belts, So it's a great way, even if you don't win, to build a good name for yourself in the community. And to be a JitzKing vet or JitzKing champion now, I think that has a lot of weight on it, because if you're in our 16-man division, it's only good guys. It's only champions, So to even be considered in there is one thing. Now to get in the finals or semifinals, that's a big thing too, man. I feel like so.
Well, one of the first things I said to you before was I love you guys' social media, and so I can, I have a marketing background. That's what I do. That's my 9 to 5, and your social media and the way you're promoting these guys and constantly posting before and after. I mean, hats off. You guys are doing a really good job. So I can attest to that, to those guys out there, even thinking about. Right, yeah, that's them.
Yep, that's all them.
Go. Hey. Yeah. Wait, which one? Is it
both of them? It's both of them.
The undefeated champ over there is the one. Who's the head social media guy? So what's the long-term plan for JitzKings? I always like to ask, we've had a few other tournament people on, and, again, as a marketing guy, I'm always like, I'm a roadmap guy. Where do you guys see yourself? Do we go, are you going to be going out of state? Are you staying in Florida? What's the long-term plan to go national, international, or is this, you guys feel like regional is good for you right now?
Well, we wanted to go national. We had plans of going national prior to COVID. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, once that hit, we had to regroup and reassess. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're doing regional shows, staying in Florida, but eventually our goal is to move out of Florida and to just branch out nationwide. Okay. Our goal is to feature the best of the best. And listen, I know some competitors may take this wrong. Our goal is not to bring more shine to the guys that are on top. It's awesome. Believe me, we're huge fans of those guys. But our goal is to find a new talent and to bring that shine to those competitors out there that are in some basement in some gym somewhere unknown at the moment.
Yeah.
Make sure that they get the credit that are due. We want to bring out the new jiu-jitsu, the new players out. We don't want to keep it stagnant. And nothing wrong with what we have, competitors wise, on the upscale right now that are looking down, but we want to find the future.
I'm agreeing with you, and I think Pat kind of alluded to this before. Is like, I'm a huge UFC fan. That's how I found jiu-jitsu, just being a fan. My dad was always into boxing. I've been watching boxing since it was, ABC Sports on a Sunday afternoon. If anybody remembers that stuff, sitting down watching those fights with my dad. As I started to watch the UFC and they started bringing women in, and then they do the undercards and like the pre-fights. They were starting on like Fight Pass, and then one was on Facebook. Those fights are more exciting most of the time than the main cards, because those guys are the up and comers. Those guys are the ones that are like, this is their one shot, right? You fuck this up, Dana might not have you back. So I get, sometimes those new names, this is not only a place where they can make a name for themselves, but they wouldn't otherwise even have a chance. There's a lot of organizations out there right now, but you guys are, seem to be one of the standouts. But those new guys, I think, are the ones that put on the best show because they have the most to prove.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
Right. So let's talk about the state of the tournament system as a whole. I was so happy to see you guys come back. When I saw you guys starting to post, I was like, yes. Substars gone, not because of the quarantine and COVID, but gone. Fight to Win, again, was excited to see that one. My coach was in the Fort Lauderdale Fight to Win back a few months ago, or almost, I think, last year. So they put on a great event. What do you think is the state of the tournament system, though? Are we going to see just like the smaller regional events just drop off? Are they going to be able to survive not having a Flograppling to air? Not being able to have an audience. I mean, are those guys just going to be gone?
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, it's just the state of the economy now. But we were lucky. We signed a new agreement prior to COVID. Which is allowing us to move forward and to outlast this COVID thing. We can survive without an audience. We're not here to make money. It's never really been our goal. So it doesn't really affect us much. But we want audiences there. We want to grow our sport. We want to pay more. Our goal is to pay the athletes and to bring them to a different level, man. To bring new viewers to jiu-jitsu. And it's pretty sad that there's a lot of promotions with the same goal in mind that are probably not going to be able to make it. I mean, even as it is now with our media rights deal and with the sponsors that we have, everybody's gone through a really downturn financially, and everybody's going through a very tough financial time. So trust me, it's been very tough to pull this one off, but I think it's just, like dinosaurs, only the tough survive, right?
Yeah. I see you guys posting. Whose garage is that? Okay, right? Whose garage is that I see you guys? You guys post once in a while. That's your garage. Some of those guys are they just training? You got are those local guys?
Yeah. So you probably see me and another old guy. We call him Eddie because he's hairy as as hell. We have him. We have Pat come and join us sometimes. We've had Eddie, and man, it all started like 10 years ago. We used to call it Sunday school. We used to train on Sunday. But yeah, that's my garage. That's my man cave.
So what do you give me your insight, guys? Each of you, one of you, whoever wants to answer this. What do you think about the outlook on the actual academies and gyms out there? What do you think we're going to be in, a month, 3 months, 6 months?
I think a lot of people are struggling to hold on, unfortunately, it's a sad thing to see that, but I mean, a jiu-jitsu gym has got to be one of the hardest things to open, run, and make money off of, because it's not like a karate school where people come and drop their kids off and they're paying you $800 a month to watch their kids with daycare and this and that. It's like jiu-jitsu is hard. It's tough. It has its ups and downs. It's going to beat up your body. You're going to get injured. You might go, you might not go. I mean, there's multiple gyms in one city, so people can pick and choose. So I hope the best to them. But if people don't support their academies, guys, if you're training at a gym right now and you can financially afford it, support your gym. They'll support you when you need them. So if you're training somewhere, guys, as long as you're still paying your membership, your gym will stay open. It will be there. But if you can't, I mean, I understand too, everyone's going through financial struggles, but to the best of your abilities, if you can support that place where you train, it'll always be there. But once it's gone forever, So I hope to the best that all these academies make it, that they have some money put away. But who knows? I know our in Florida, we're pretty lucky, man. Things are getting back to normal. My academy is opening up with regulations and restrictions, of course, on Monday. And we're going to have all kinds of precautions set up and this and that. But some people didn't make it that far,
Yeah.
So
we're starting to see them drop off. I know that, I had Jason Scully. You guys know Jason Scully. I had Jason Scully on. He did a quarantine relief project. And I also had Rob from McDojo Life. And he probably, he had one of the best pieces of advice. And I think there's still time to do it, even with the gyms opening, is there's a window here to kind of make a deal with your students. I mean, I train with some guys that have like family packages and programs, and they just can't afford it. They're completely out of work, and $200 plus, $250, whatever the cost is, they're just not able to afford it. I think it's in the best interest of some of these gyms to try to make deals with those guys. Rob from McDojo Life said, hey, look, go to your students and tell them, listen, if you pay, continue to pay now, and then I'll give you a disc like half off for the rest of the year or for the life of your membership, as long as you're a student with me. I've even floated it out there to, hey, look, again, I have a marketing background, and I've sold marketing packages where I give people a discount if they pay for the year up front. There are some people that can do it. The marketing industry, honestly, relatively unaffected. I could do that. I could help out my gym with if somebody approached me. So I think they need to have some creative solutions. And then one other thing that I've been telling people, and I put out a little marketing video about this, is you need to, I don't see it a lot. Shout out to Sinister BJJ out in Austin, Texas, who actually posted a video of them and their students cleaning the gym from top to bottom. But you have to be talking about that. That's what people want to hear. What are you going to do differently? Show me cleaning your gym. Ask me to come down. You've got to be doing something different on your social media than posting about, life after the quarantine, or can't wait to open, or, fuck the government because they're not letting us open. They need to be doing things differently.
Yeah.
But then again, that's just me. But I haven't seen a lot of social media posting of people like I said, shout out to Sinister BJJ, who, went out of their way to show, hey, let's show the community what we're doing. So I think there needs to be a little bit more of that. But let's get into, we have I call it a little speed round. We'll go through each of you. I want you guys each to answer this. And I think it kind of gets us into the mindset of our guest. So we'll start with Enrique. If you could go back in time, Enrique, what would you tell the white belt you the day before you started training? You walked into the gym the first day. What would you tell yourself?
Don't worry about the next belt. Just enjoy the ride.
Okay. Pat?
Get comfortable with losing.
Yeah. Eddie?
Stop squeezing people's heads. I was a wrestler coming in, so I paid for that quite a bit.
What was that now? Go back. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I was a wrestler when I was younger.
Okay.
So as a white belt, I would just squeeze people's heads and I thought that was a move.
I could see you like at a headlock.
He still does it.
Yeah. That's why he's undefeated champ. All right, so let's go back to Enrique. Other than achieving the rank of black belt, what is your ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu?
To spread the word. I love jiu-jitsu, and I love to train. I used to love to compete. Now that I'm older, I think my passion is more about spreading the word of jiu-jitsu, more about promoting jiu-jitsu than about me competing in jiu-jitsu. So my goal is to bring in new audiences and new fans to jiu-jitsu, to grow the sport.
I like it. I'm of that same mindset. That's why I do this. Pat, ultimate goal. You're already a black belt, so.
I feel bad now because you guys are a complete opposite. Because you guys are like, I want to grow. I want to be a black belt world champion. I want to be the best guys in the world.
That's fine. That's great, man. That's what I want to be, Awesome. So, how long have you had your black belt now?
I got it in November 4th.
Okay. This past year, 2019?
Yep. Yes,
Very
sir.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you, man.
Eddie, besides squeezing heads and maintaining your undefeated status as world champion,
what is one is keeping that undefeated status.
So what is the second goal of your jiu-jitsu career? Other than achieving the rank of black belt, what's your ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu?
For me, it's more of keeping my body in shape and strong. I'm getting older now, so I really love the competition.
You look it too. You look kind of worn. Wow. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You look good. You look good. Listen, you look good for 54, man. I hope I look that good when I hit that age.
No, I just love the competition. I competed most of my life in wrestling and boxing. Yeah. So I need something. I need some kind of competition in my life, and I love going to the gym and strangling my friends.
Yeah, so he's gonna fuck me up next time he sees me now. All right, let's go to our next question. So, what's the craziest jiu-jitsu related thing that's happened to you on or off the mat? This could be at an event, at a JitzKing event, anything. What's the craziest jiu-jitsu related thing that's ever happened to you, Enrique?
I blew out my ACL.
Yeah. Oh, I did that. I've got that one now. It blew out my ACL and my MCL. Thanks, Coach.
You broke up a little bit. Sorry.
So I have a brace on right now. I tore my ACL and my MCL rolling with my coach.
Oh man.
I tore it because I didn't tap. It was my fault. So. Pat, craziest jiu-jitsu related thing that's happened to you on or off the mat?
I would say starting this promotion, man. It's a real thing because it was just an idea, and then next thing you know, we're in a venue, and we have people coming and competing for us. Like this thing behind us. This is the craziest thing to think that like we have a promotion when we bring the best guys in the world, and just the fact that we're on Flograppling on our first event because. Like I said, we watch a bunch of events all the time, and you see guys just doing some stuff in the gym on a YouTube stream with 3 people watching. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like it's hard to sustain from that, So just the fact that this whole Jits thing has been a roller coaster ride, and it's been successful, and that people know who we are, and it's good. It's a big thing to be this would be the craziest thing that we're running something.
He is. That's right. This is crazy. Think about it.
This is fucking nuts.
Tile installer, personal trainer, book salesman. We got to go on our first event.
Yeah.
So take me in the room. The first conversation, like who's talking to who? Whose dumb idea was this? Because the podcast was my dumb idea, and it came from me going to have a beer after training once in a while with Junior, with Mauricio, with Raul, with Jen and her husband Janet and her husband Jason, and that's where this came from. Having these conversations and going, man, I wish we recorded that. I never wanted to do a podcast. It wasn't in my. It wasn't one of my dreams to do this, but I started to say, these are great fucking conversations. I wish we could record this. And then I brought it up to my wife first, told her the crazy name. I thought she was going to shoot it down and tell me, stop it. More jiu-jitsu? What are you doing? And she's like, oh, I got this guy in the office that does a podcast. Yeah, that's really good. And she bought in, and it was great. But take me in the room that very first time. You have a similar story? I see you guys nodding and smiling.
We all have different stories.
So this is my version of the story, right? My son James used to compete a lot, man, and he's the main reason why for JitzKing.
Okay.
We came back from a money tournament. We used to travel all over the place, and we were just sick of how poorly these tournaments were being run. Mm-hmm. I got home. I was telling my wife how great it could have been and should have been. and she tells me, you guys should just do your own. Long story short, I picked up the phone and I called these two guys. And next thing we knew, we were just talking about JitzKing, or we were talking about the tournament. We were talking about what we were going to name it. We went through a whole bunch of corny names, and somehow JitzKing stuck.
Yeah.
That's it from there, you know.
Does Eduardo have a different story?
That's completely different.
Go ahead, hit us.
We were at a tournament watching him compete, and I went to go look for some food. And I had to walk a mile to find some food, and I came back and I started bitching and complaining, saying we should do our own tournament. And me and Enrique had talked about it before because of the reason he talked about. Okay. And then a couple weeks later, he called me and said, hey, you know that tournament we were talking shit about? Let's do it. Okay. And that's how it all started.
Cool. Pat, do you have a different story, Pat? Yeah.
I think it was really between them two for a while. Like I got a text like a month before and it said we should like start a tournament, I feel like. And then I was just like, okay, these old guys should
whatever.
Yeah. And then like a month later, it's like, no, we should start a tournament. And it's like, we're going to meet at Eddie's house and talk about it. And it's like, okay, let's go. We went to Eddie's house and talked about it, you know? But for me, it's like the reason why I want to get into it is because I'm a complainer. I always bitch and complain when I see things I don't like. And I was watching tournaments and I was like, I don't like how they're doing this. And I can sit here and complain on the internet, or I could just do my own thing the way I want to, you know? And then
I could just see Pat going fucking blue belts. These two idiots want to start a promotion.
You know what really was driving me crazy was, I think this was around the EBI times I was saying, I would see EBI overtimes and I was like, man, I don't like EBI overtime. I'm going to do it differently. That's all I could think about. And then these guys had the idea. And I was like, yes, I can do a tournament and not have EBI. And everyone was doing EBI overtime. Everybody had that as their overtime. If there was a tie, that's what they had. And I was like, and it was always 10 minutes long. You notice that too. It was like 5 minutes on your back, 5 minutes on your back, 5 minutes on your back, 5 minutes on your back. And I was like, okay, we're going to do it differently. So these guys came up with the idea and now we have this banner behind us. So
awesome. I love it. Whoever's story is on point is the right one. I love it either way. All right. So, most important question we're going to ask here today. I don't know if you guys know what's coming. Okay. Now I'm going to go down the line.
My announcing skills.
What's that?
You want to ask about my announcing skills?
Oh, listen, you did an incredible job at that last event. Tell me the story behind that. How did that come about?
What about his suit? Did you see his suit? His suit too.
I remember the shoes as much as I remember that jacket that he was wearing.
He killed an alligator in the parking lot and made those shoes.
That's my story. I'm sticking.
What happened at that event? You are not the typically the announcer, Eddie, right?
No, our announcer. His name was Matt. He was a great announcer, but he had some issues, and he didn't show up on the weigh-ins. You know, he had some trouble. He didn't show up, and all of a sudden, I see Enrique and my other friend Ryan walking towards me. Enrique is holding a piece of paper in front of him like this. And he says, hey, man, Matt's not here. I said, oh, man, that's horrible. He says, you have to be the announcer. I said, what? He said, you have a big mouth, Eddie. You could do it. So I said, all right. So I went and bought a suit the next day, and probably the best announcer I've ever seen in my entire life, to be honest with you.
You did it. You did an incredible Bruce Buffer imitation.
My next one.
He did a really good job for his first time.
Let me tell you something. If he wouldn't have told me at the event that story that had happened, I wouldn't have known. That was my first JitzKings event. I'm sorry, I was gonna say it right. JitzKing event, and I didn't know. So I didn't know who your announcer was, and I didn't know you weren't the announcer. You did an incredible job, Eddie. Man, it was great. Are you gonna be? Have you officially taking on that role now, or is Matt coming back?
I mean, honestly, I've had so many thousands of people contact me to tell me what a great job I did. That I'm going to please the people because I'm a people pleaser. And I'll probably do it from now on. I don't want to.
The tens of people who reach out to you after.
Oh man,
the masses.
Did you get more comments about the suit or about your actual skills?
Probably the skills, to be honest.
All right. Listen, hats off, man.
People were amazed.
You did good, Eddie. You did good. I like it.
The next suit's already ready to go, so he's definitely going to be.
Oh boy,
it's ready.
That should have been a question. What color suit will Eddie wear?
Yeah, right. Listen, guess the suit, win a ticket. All right, so let's go down the line now. Again, this is one of my favorite questions. Do you or do you not, and why, do you or do you not wash your gi belt?
I do. I do every now and then. Not every time, but I'd say like every 4 or 5 months, I'll give it a wash just because I feel
when it starts to walk to the mat by itself, you give it a wash.
Yeah, I just almost feel like it needs it. It just it's walking by himself. It's kind of a persona of its own.
Pat, belt washer. Or no?
Not something I do on the regular, but there's been times when I picked it up and it smelled awful. And I'm like, this has to be washed. I'm not going to be that guy, So it's not like I wash my belt on the regular. I mean, I have a competition belt and then I have a regular belt. So I always have two belts to alternate between, but I'm not going to be like, I'm washing my belt today. But there's been times when I picked that thing up and I've been like, what? Like if you leave it in your car or it's taking your bag overnight, dude, that thing smells like it's a dead animal. You have to wash it. Yeah. Don't be that guy. I don't want to be the stinky guy. So.
We got 2 belt washers. Eddie, are we going to make it 3?
I have issues with OCD.
Okay.
So I'm a belt washer.
All right.
I wash it. It's very seldom that I do wash it, but if it smells funny, it's getting washed.
Welcome to Team Wash Your Belt, guys. Hashtag Team Wash Your Belt.
Doesn't like that, but.
I got a funny belt story. There was a new white. I was a purple belt at the time and had a new white belt coming to the gym, and he needed a belt. So I gave him my original white belt, man, and it was like it's disgusting and dirty, just the way I liked it. With stripes all over it. Well, he was trying to be nice, and I let him borrow my belt, so he took it home and washed it because he thought that's what you're supposed to do afterwards. And he brings me back this white belt, and it was completely clean, like brand new. He's like, I cleaned it for you. I was like, no, like that's not what you're supposed to do, man. Like he literally, I was mad for like a year about that. I was like, dude, come on, that was my white belt. Now it looks brand new. I can't like hang this on the wall, but yeah, bummer.
Now, I haven't even gotten into this part of it with washing the belt. Now I think people that traditionally didn't want to wash it are going to wash it just because of the whole COVID situation. So I don't want to go that far into it. It's a little bit more of a fun question than anything. But all right, listen, guys, let me give you a chance to let's run down sponsors, people you want to shout out. You can go down the line, but this is your time to give your sponsors some. Yeah,
absolutely. We want to thank most of all Flograppling.
Okay.
We want to thank Active Drop. I'd like to thank Flow Kimonos.
Okay.
Flow and Roll.
Gamblers Jiu-Jitsu, thank you, Mike. We appreciate you. You've done a lot for us.
What is it again? Gamblers Jiu-Jitsu? Very cool. Awesome.
City Chiropractors. Guys supported us from day one. He's awesome. White Lion Therapeutic. Jiu Jitsu Dummies. Thank you for having us on.
Jiu Jitsu Dummies. We Defy.
Yes, We Defy the Foundation. Woohoo! So, all right, guys, listen, I want to thank you guys. I want you guys to come back on before your next event, maybe come back on after this one and then have you guys talk about the next one. We definitely want to be a part of giving you shout outs whenever we can. You guys have been great. You guys have done, awesome reposting for us too. So we appreciate you guys. But let's continue to talk. And maybe again, we've talked about maybe having some of the fighters on pre-show. I think AJ would be a great guest to have on the show. But if you've got anybody else you want to put in contact with me, just shoot me a message. I know Eddie and I have talked about it a little bit, but really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for being with us. All right, guys.
Thank you for having us, man.
All right. Good luck with the event. You guys take care, man.
Thank you, man.
All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you, guys.
Stay COVID free.
So everybody stick around. We're going to go over our housekeeping and we're going to do, we've got some really big giveaways, including a $500 gift card giveaway that we're going to do as well. So thank you again to the guys from JitzKing. You can check them out on Instagram at JitzKing _promotions. All right. So a big shout out to Fightback CBD. You can get 15% off your order at fightbackcbd.com with code JJD. All right. Check out our podcast store. All right. Give us some love. JiuJitsuDummies.shop. You get 10% off with code DummiesPod20. All right. We have new ranked rash guards, tees. We have face shields now, right? Because of COVID. Backpacks and coffee mugs as well. Anyone out there that would like to work with us, all right? Sponsor the show, donate products for giveaways. We love giving stuff away. If you want, you have got shirts, products, anything that you want to feature, we'll get it out to our listeners. You can reach out to us by email or on social media, where you can go at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies pretty much everywhere. We're on Reddit now as well. You could visit our contact form on jujitsudummies.com, or you could send an email to info@jujitsudummies.com as well. If you go to our .com and you go to our contact page, you've got 2 forms there. You could suggest a guest, you can ask us questions, but who do you want to see on the show? If you've got a connection, a contact, put us together, we'll reach out. Our podcast patron winners for March and April, we're going to be announcing them online soon. We're actually going to be able to ship. Shout out to Flow Kimonos and actually JitzKing. We won a bunch of kimonos that we're going to be giving away to those patrons. Again, March and April, we'll be announcing and shipping pretty much, I would say, probably before the end of May. So thank you guys for your support, and thank you guys for being super, super patient. If you want to support the show, if you want to be entered automatically into winning $100 worth of jiu-jitsu gear every single month, actually we do 2 $100 prizes. Go to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. Okay, you can join, support. Again, you automatically entered into any of these things that we have going on. You got special perks. We give you a coupon code to go order yourself every once in a while. All right. We're also opening up those drawings so you can either, be a podcast patron, or if you're a listener who submits a question that we use on the show. So you can be entered both of those ways. Shout out to our newest podcast patron over at BOA Athletics. You can check them out on Instagram at BOA_athletics. All right. Shout out to our other patrons, Michael Pixley Jr., Jason Smiley, Eric Perkins, Britt Tover, and Britt, you got to tell me if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. And again, I'm going to shout out Sinister BJJ again. I love that you guys put that video out of you guys cleaning the facility, cleaning your gym. Keep Britt away from all that bleach, I understand. But that's a great example of what other gyms should be doing. Your students want to see that. I'm telling you, your students want to see that. They want to know what you're going to be doing differently. So good job, guys. Big shout outs to James Fisher, CJ Carroll, and Mission 22. Chuck Reddoor. I will be posting your meme soon, Chuck. It's just been, time has been kind of crazy. Time has been tight. Roberto Santiago down here in South Florida. And again, huge shout out to the We Defy Foundation. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Appreciate the support and hope that we can continue, making good connections and helping each other out. You can find the podcast at pretty much anywhere at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Again, I said before, now on Reddit. You can check me out on Instagram at Uncle Milty BJJ on Instagram, and the foundation as well. The JJD Foundation on IG, the JJ Dummies FDN on Twitter. Check out our GoFundMe. We're going to be giving away our first Jiu-Jitsu scholarship. Hopefully, I would say by the end of June, that's going to go out to a deserving child, a kid that's in need or that's done something exceptional. We're going to get them a 1-year Jiu-Jitsu scholarship. So please support at GoFundMe.com. The link is either in the description on the podcast, on YouTube, or you'll see it on screen here. All right. Okay. And now the big giveaway. All right. So in celebration of our 20th episode and our 10,000 likes on Facebook, by the time this is posting, we should probably be at about 9,600 likes, but we'll be at 10,000, I think, within the next couple of weeks. And our 3,000 followers on Instagram, we're going to be giving away $500 in gift cards. All right. So this is the breakdown here. It's going to be 20 $25 gift cards. All right. They're all to the jujitsudummies.shop, our podcast store. So this is what you have to do to enter. You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I get all the notifications, so I'm going to know. It's free to subscribe. You're going to follow us on Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. You're going to like us on Facebook. Same thing. You can find us at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. Now, for additional entries. All right. Each one of those things, each one of those people, you have to do those 3 things to get 1 entry. 4 additional entries. For each person you tag on IG or Facebook, you're going to get 1 additional entry. We're going to do it like a raffle drawing. You'll actually get an additional entry. You can also become a podcast patron at patreon.com/JiuJitsu Dummies. You'll get 1 additional entry for each $1 pledge. The smallest program is $5 a month. So you'll get 5 additional entries for that smallest package. Okay? That's it. It's pretty simple. The drawing will take place right after we hit 10,000 followers on Facebook. So that could be just in the next couple of weeks. We'll give you some time to get all of that done. All right? So again, pretty simple, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to Bo behind the camera. Thank you to the guys at JitzKings. Just want to say it again. Everybody, you should be, still quarantining in place when you can. If you don't have to leave the house, don't. Use delivery systems like Instacart to get your groceries if you can. I know not everybody can, but you should be trying to stay home. So take care of yourselves, guys. Stay safe. Stay healthy. We appreciate you. Take care. Us.